Okay, so if you look at question 3, okay, there's 100 stones and 2 players. The first player chooses 1 stone, the second player chooses 1 or 2, and then it keeps going up by 1 how many they can choose. Yeah? And the question is, who can guarantee that they get the last stone, right? So this actually is very similar to a question that was asked before, but the variation makes it different, like enough to be a different question. But yeah, so many people came up with this very nice answer. And so one thing to notice is 100 is a square number, okay? And what the first person can do is they take away one stone, which is the first square number. Yeah. Okay. And then no matter what the second person does, so the second person can take away an extra stone, which makes it 2 stones, or they can take 2 stones, which makes it 3 stones. Right. The first player can then make sure it's 4 stones that's taken away. Does that make sense? Okay. So the idea is, if the first player can always make sure there's a square number of stones that's taken away, the second player, if they can't make it to the next square, so once they get 9 squared gone, they can't make the next square, the first player removes the 100, again, 10 squared, and they win. Okay. So, so they make sure 4 is removed, okay, and then the next player, they can remove up to 5 stones, right? So they can remove up to 4 stones, right? So they can remove up to 8, yeah. But then they can't remove 9, so the first player can make sure there's 9 stones gone by next turn, yeah. And so the point is, the difference between 9 and the next square is like that odd number, right? So here it would be 7, but the most he can remove is 6. Okay, so then the first player can guarantee that 16 are gone. And that's the first player's turn. And you just keep doing this until you get all the way to 81. Remove 81. And then by that time, the person can remove at most 18 more. Okay? And so then no matter how many they remove, you get to remove the 100th stuff. Okay? So something like this, it's not as easy to write up as you might think. It's pretty easy to convince someone that you actually got the right idea. Yeah? But to actually write it up nicely is actually not completely easy. So, I mean, if all else fails, you can, since there's only really 10 cases, you can just write 20 statements. Like that'll take you maybe 10 minutes, right? But you have to kind of be careful with the statements. If you want to do it more generally, like if you just want to have like a squared stones, right? You can make it like an induction, but you got to be careful what your statement is. It can't just be like, so for example, Gregory had like you can have a square number of stones removed. Like player 1 can remove a square number of square. But the thing is, it's not that they can, it's that they do, and the next one they can, right? So you got to be careful with the induction statement that you want to prove. But there's also just you can just kind of do it manually. Like in my explanation, I kind of manually already did it up to 16, right? So I just do it again, and I get to 100. All right. Okay, you guys have any questions about that? No.